What is something common that has never happened to you? I'm almost 29 and I've never been stung by a bee, wasp, hornet, etc. I'm 30 years old and I've never had a wet dream. Edit, boy, I tell ya, if I knew my inbox was gonna get flooded with dudes telling me about their nocturnal emissions, I don't think I would have left a comment. Yeah, whenever I have sexy dreams, I always wake up before the good part. I don't even cheat on my wife in my dreams. Sorry, Natalie Dormer, that wouldn't be right. Wakes up, damn it. I've never been to a funeral. Oh, they're a riot, you got to try 'em. Yeah, just wait for the vampire to jump out of the coffin and yell, surprise. Can't spell funeral without fun. Being invited to a wedding. Everyone always tells me about how I'm so lucky to not go to weddings because of how much they end up spending to attend them, but I'd like to experience it at least once in my life. Apparently I'm not close enough to anyone to be invited. During COVID, a lot of friends got married in small ceremonies. Understandable, but I wish that I got more chances to attend bigger weddings, because they seem fun. My family is from a culture where weddings are big 100+ invite everyone affairs, so I'd love to participate in more of those. I don't know if it's common, but a friend expressed surprise when I told him I had never, ever seen hail in person. I know of it, of course, and seen videos and the like, but I've never experienced it myself. Edit, to answer a frequent question, I lived most my life in Virginia, and now live in Delaware. Said friend also lives in Virginia, though further south than I. I remember seeing it 5 days after buying my first new car. When it fell on and dented my first new car. Did not even have the permanent license plates, but I had hail damage. Common here in TX. Some people will even wait for the hail sale, brand new cars with hail damage sold at a pretty big discount. 24 and never broken a bone or had any fractures. 41 checking in here. Nothing broken yet, edit, lol, and now my number one comment is about being too lame and boring to break a bone. Gee, thanks Reddit. Let's keep it that way. Never been fired from a job, knock on wood. Only time I got fired was from a new manager first week. They didn't last a month and I got hired back. I had that happen to me when I was a teen. The lady was subbing for the manager for a day, fired me. I complained to the real manager when he got back and I got rehired the next day. I worked for an HVAC outfit once, and on every install job the salesman would come by toward the end of the job and see me sitting down or twiddling my thumbs or something. After about 4 jobs he went to the owner complaining and I got fired. I went to pack my things and while I was loading up my crew flipped their shit in the owner's office. I was always just doing what they told me to do, and once done I waited until one of the senior guys wasn't elbow deep in something to direct me to a new task. I outpaced everyone and Mr. Salesman only ever stopped by after I had completed every task I was qualified to do. I was fired for 10 minutes. Mr. Sales Guy was a total knucklehead. If he had made even the tiniest of inquiries before getting you fired, he would have figured it out. Let's not forget that the owner also fired the guy without talking to anyone on the crew. Everyone in this thread is jinxing themselves. For some that's a good thing. Never had a girlfriend. Tomorrow's edit, you guys, I actually got one. Being called for jury duty. I am 40 and my dad and my sister have both been called, but not me. It seems there's 2 types of jury duty notices. There are people like you, who either never receive one or rarely receive them. Then there's people like me who receives a jury duty notice every time I'm eligible. In my city they're allowed to call you once a year. Guess who's sitting in a courthouse right now for my annual jury duty? Wow. I've made it to 35 without being called once. I can't imagine what a pain in the ass it must be to do it yearly. I'm 24 and I've been summoned 3 times for jury duty since turning 18. I was able to get dismissed from all 3 by virtue of being a college student, but still. I've never been pulled over or gotten a ticket. I bragged about this a couple months ago, then got a ticket a week later. Careful out there, man. I'm 41 and haven't died yet. What's your secret? Staying alive. Stay in a life I've never gotten a nosebleed. Hashtag X200B, ever. When I was in school I got it 12 times in a month. Got operated on and turns out a growing bone in the nose had pressed against a nerve. Alive because of modern science. Would have died for such a simple reason in ancient times. That's an interesting story. I have chronic nosebleeds, sometimes I'll only get 1 in a month, sometimes I'll get 6 in a week. Been like this for as long as I remember. Saw a doctor once about it when I had one that took an unusual amount of time to clot and they said it's not terribly unusual in people my age, around 19 at the time, but not much has changed since then. Maybe I'll bring it up at my next annual just in case. Never had to go to the hospital. I go every day. I work there. Never had a cavity. My dentist told me different people have different kinds of bacteria prevalent in their mouths. Some have bacteria that tends to form cavities. Some have bacteria that tends to present gum disease, for instance. I'm in the latter category, and I've also never had a cavity. So yay? I've never had a cavity, despite not taking care of my teeth super well for a couple years. On the flip side, even now that I do take care of my teeth diligently, my breath stinks super easily. Like I need to use mouthwash or have eaten drank water in the last 30 minutes or it starts to get bad. I've never smoked a cigarette or been sent a dick pic edit, and I don't want any, thanks, edit too. Mistakes were made by admitting that to the internet, but any pics will remain Shro Dong-er's pic and will never be opened. Is it a dick? Is it a cigarette? We will never know. I'm sorry for what's likely going to happen to your inbox. It's probably full of cigarettes right now. Full of butts. Why doesn't anyone offer me free drugs? Lol. Seriously, the DARE program is full of liars. Any natural disaster and snowball fights. As someone from Kansas, I would highly recommend against a snowball fight during a tornado. No, they're so cool. You can hit yourself if the angle is right. I am in my 40s and I have never had anyone invite me out for drinks. If by any chance you live around Puget Sound, I'm going wine tasting at 3 p.m. today. You are invited. Oh, how I wish. Would take quite a bit of convincing to get the wife to cross the country for any reason, though. Oh well, if you ever do find yourself in the area, my wife and I will join you for a few drinks. Same, need to go find a wife first though. There are plenty of wives in the wild. Just approach them carefully, they spook easily. One night stand or FWB relationship. I tried to have a casual FWB. We're married now. Oh. I have never had strep throat. Just swallow a handful of razor blades and needles. Same effect. Have you ever thrown up with strep? The pain was so bad I just puked again. Never been on a date. I'm 34. 48 and never tried a cigarette. 64 and never smoked anything. Though I'd like to try smoking a brisket sometime. Don't start, it turns into a horrible habit and soon all your dreams are filled with smoked meat. You're just forever thinking about the next time you get to have that smoked meat again. Smoked steaks are one of my favorites. I've never fainted. Oh, it's the worst, such a horrible feeling. I've only actually fainted twice, but I've felt like I was going to way more times. Pav, you stand up too fast. Yep. Recently I stood up too fast, fainted, and fell against the electric fireplace and got a nasty scratch and burn. Damn it, why couldn't I have just fallen the other way back into the bean bag?